Hey there, my name is Megan and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tag video that my bookish friend Madison Goodyear tagged me in. It's an original tag that she created and it is Judge a Book by Its Cover tag. I'm going to go ahead and link her channel down in the description box, so definitely check out her content. But this tag is a series of 9 questions and it is all to do with book covers. But before we go ahead and get on into the questions, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the little bell icon so you can be notified every time I post new bookish content. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and sometimes throughout the week. Also, don't forget to check down in the description box for links to my social media, my Buddy Read Discord, and my Patreon. Question 1 is, break the ice. Show us a few of your personal favorite book covers. When I was curating this list, I was like, man, YA fantasy books have such pretty covers. Like, they're beautiful. But I didn't want this whole list to be YA fantasy, so I chose a couple, and then I chose one adult fantasy. The first one is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I just love the matte black and the shiny gold, and I think it's just so pretty, and it just stands out. And then the design on the front, which I haven't read this book yet, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the school that our main character goes to. It's just a really pretty book all around. It's got really pretty end pages and flaps on the inside. I just love the gold and black. I think it's very aesthetically pleasing. Next we have books by A.G. Howard, who writes kind of young adult fairy tale retellings, and some of these books aren't related, but like the covers look like they're related, so whoever does her cover art does a great job. But the first series is going to be Splintered. This is an Alice in Wonderland retelling, and I just think that whoever does these portraits of these characters, it's just, they're so pretty. So this is Alice. And then we have Morpheus, which I don't like as much, but... And then we have Jeb. And then we have another book, like I said, that is completely unrelated, that is just as pretty and looks like it could go with this series. That is Roseblood. This is a Phantom of the Opera retelling, so it has nothing to do with the Alice in Wonderland retelling, but it's got the same artwork, and it's so pretty. This is the main character, Rune. So just really, really pretty covers. Question 2 is, what is the absolute best book cover you own? And I'm actually going to go with one of my Barnes & Noble leather-bound books, and that is the copy of The Wizard of Oz. I'm actually going to do a video where I show you guys my entire Barnes & Noble leather-bound collection because it's growing, and I think you guys would really appreciate it. But these books are absolutely gorgeous, and I really like The Wizard of Oz because how yellow it is. It just pops, and then the contrasting with the green, and then what those two colors kind of symbolize in the book. And then we have Dorothy and the Scarecrow, the Tin Man and the Lion on the front, and then just the brickwork here at the bottom makes it look like the yellow brick road. And then we have just the castle. Oh, it's just so pretty. I love it so much. Definitely one of my favorite books. Question 3 is, what is the absolute worst cover you own? And I was actually hunting through my classics because I knew I would find one. I have a tendency to find my classics used or at, like, you know, Goodwill or super cheap places. And I found this copy of The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo. And oh my gosh, this cover, like whoever did this artwork of Esmeralda and the Hunchback is just, oh, it's so bad. Like they're all, it almost looks like watercolor. You can't really even tell who they are. And just Esmeralda just looks like a man. I don't know, but it's not a very pretty book. I'm thinking about upgrading this because it's just old and yellow, and I think I got it for 50 cents, but definitely a horrific cover. Question 4 is a cover that features a weapon, and I have the Crimson Campaign by Brian McKellen. We have a rifle here and a bayonet. It is a flintlock fantasy, so they do use a lot of guns, but there's your weapon. Question 5 is, show us your most unique book cover. I'm going to go with Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman. Walt Whitman is one of my favorite poets. Oh, I just love his work. And if I show you guys, it's a leather-bound edition, and it's got everything kind of, I don't know if it's engraved or carved into the leather. And then there are quotes from his poems on the front, and they kind of circle around. So you have horizontal text, you have vertical text, and then the inside has some more quotes. So I love this book. I think it's so unique. I think it's so pretty, and it's definitely one of my favorites in my collection. Question 6 is, do you judge a book by its cover? Name a book that totally lived up to the cover. And this one might be a little untraditional, but I'm going to go with The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgkin Burnett. I read this last year, and it was one of my top 10 books of last year. And I just love the cover because I'm familiar with the story. Well, I was familiar with the story before I read this, but we have Mary, and we have the bird that is her companion, and then we have the key and the hidden keyhole, and just the whole green aesthetic. I think of like spring and gardens and growing things. So, and on the back we have the keyhole, so it kind of goes full circle. Keyhole, I don't know. I thought it just was a really good job like portraying the story and what it's about. Question 7 is, name a book that you bought blind simply because of the cover. And I'm actually going to go with The Final Empire on this one. This was the first Brandon Sanderson book that I had ever read, and I just picked it up at the bookstore. I didn't know who Brandon Sanderson was. I didn't know what this book was about, and it seemed really cool. I like the fact that it had a girl on the front. She was wearing a cloak, and it just looked mysterious, and the back sounded really cool. So this was one of the reasons that I picked it up, and kind of haven't stopped reading Sanderson since. Question 8 is an embarrassing book cover, but a great book, and I'm going to go with Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. First off, I got it at my used bookstore, and I can't get this darn sticker off the front without like ripping the cover. Oh, it drives me nuts. I haven't tried like my hairdryer yet, but I can't get the sticker off the front. And then I just feel like this cover doesn't explain at all what this book is about. Like, obviously that's Victor Frankenstein, and he's just kind of standing on a rock looking out over a ravine, and there's some mist. And I don't know. I don't feel like this cover is at all portraying what the story is about, and I don't like it. I really would love a nice copy of Frankenstein because that is one of my favorite like Gothic classics. And yeah, this cover just does not do it justice. And number 9 is to show off a special edition or fancy book. I personally don't have a lot of special editions, but I did find this copy of Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery at a used bookstore where my parents live. And this is the Reader's Digest edition, and it's from the 90s. I think the copyright's 1992, but I just think it's really pretty because it's hardcover, and you kind of have gold on the front and a portrait of Anne. We have what looks like a leather spine. It's really simple, but it's really pretty. And it does say Reader's Digest edition on the spine. And then on the inside, it does have illustrations. Well, first off, it has colors like on the chapter headers, but then there are some illustrations. Okay, so here is one of the illustrations with Anne and Gilbert. So I just thought it was a really cool book to find for a couple dollars in this used store, and definitely cannot wait to finally read this series. All right, you guys, so that is it for the Judge a Book by its Cover tag. Thank you, Madison, for tagging me. I tag all of you guys who watch this video and want to do this tag. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books or maybe some of the answers to these questions, and I will see y'all soon in another video. Goodbye.
Thank you.